Hey, I want to welcome you guys to Travorium University. On behalf of my wife, Gina, and I, we are one of the many ambassadors here at Travorium. We're excited to be here with you guys today. Guys, we are the beneficiaries of this unbelievable compensation program that I'm about to show you. My wife and I have earned over $1 million per year with the company, 2 years in a row. We're not alone. There's now another family doing the same thing, and we're just getting started. The top income earners have not even joined the company yet. We're at the beginning, not the end. And today, I don't just want to walk you through the boring numbers of how we make money. They're not boring, they're unbelievable. But I want to help you understand the macro market, the markets that we're tapping into, where we sit within that market, help you understand the kind of small percentage we're trying to grab of a massive industry and how that can translate into changing your life. Because anyone can diagram, something on paper and say, hey, look at all the money you can make. The question is all of that actually going to come to fruition? And so when you look at our company, number one, here's our sales trajectory. More than 10,000 dreamcations. Those are our getaways, our world tours, the signature vacations we give. Over 10,000 of those were booked in the year 2025. Over 65,000 travel reservations, over 33,000 brand new customers. We had record rank advancements, record income to partners, over $72 million paid in commissions since the inception of the company. The company will begin its 14th year here in 2026, and we're projected to do about $100 million in revenue this upcoming year. Now, all of that says, wow, look at the company exploding in growth. Clearly 14 years old, debt free. We just bought a brand new corporate office, paid cash for it. So this company's clearly not going anywhere. We doubled in size during the pandemic. So we have offices on 3 continents. Our owner was a finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year. Clearly in our 14th year, the company's not going anywhere. It's rock solid. It's here to stay. And yet most people have not heard of the company. Go almost anywhere. Go to any mall, any sporting event, any place where there's a congregation of people, grab a bullhorn and say, I will give you $5,000 right now if you can tell me what Travorium is. Like, who? What? Never heard of it, right? So I've got a rock solid company, but yet most people have not heard of it. I'm here at the beginning, not the end. Well, then you look at the travel industry, the industry that we are engaged in. And that is an industry that is currently twice the size as the oil industry. Oil does less than 5 trillion a year, travels over 10 trillion a year. And according to Bloomberg Finance, here's the article right here on the screen, travel is going to explode in growth. It already is. In fact, they've actually raised this estimation since this article came out. They're now saying 16.5 trillion, but travel is exploding in growth. Soon will be 3 times the size as the oil industry. Why? Demographics. You've got people like the Gen Zs and the millennials. They make up a huge, massive percentage of the population, global population, over 60%. They're between the ages of 11 and 42. And for them, travel is not a luxury, but a necessity. This is a generation of people that want experiences, not things. They would rather have a dream vacation than a luxury item. So travel is exploding. Well, guys, if you've not seen the NBC News report, NBC News investigative reports broke the story. You think you're price shopping, but you're not. 2 companies control the entire travel space. They have a monopoly. Almost nobody knows that, but it is a stone cold fact. You can go watch the NBC News report. You can Google this and say, oh my gosh, I believe I'm price shopping. They lead me to believe that I'm price shopping, but I'm not. It's the same 2 companies own everything. They're controlling the price, the markup. They're making billions, and consumers are overpaying. And understand that when you look at the pricing model that the travel industry is going through, this dates back to the year 1758. Okay. The pricing model the travel industry uses is older than the country we live in if you're in the United States. Just maybe it's time for something new. And when you get rid of all of their markup, this is what travel can look like. On the right, that's Expedia, 4,463. On the left, that's us, 2326. How are we getting a better rate? We're not getting a better rate. 2326 is the rate. The rest is Expedia's markup. And again, they're not about to change their model because they're making billions and billions and billions. We're bringing what I call the Netflix model to the travel industry. If you think about Netflix, they don't make money selling movies. They make money selling a membership that allows you to watch an unlimited number of movies. Guys, we don't make money selling travel. We make money selling a membership that lets people book travel with no markup so they can book it for $2,000 instead of $4,000. And guys, that's just the beginning of how we save people money on travel. But when you look at the Netflix company, they got 247 million members. They do 32 billion a year in revenue. But when you look at the travel industry, it's projected to hit now 16.5 trillion, but we'll stick with the old number, 15.5 trillion. If we only got 1/4 of 1%, that's 0.0025. Guys, that makes you a $38 billion company, bigger than Netflix. And again, that's with 1/4 of 1%. What if you only got 1/100th of 1%? That's 0.0001. You get the tiniest little sliver. That would make you a $1.5 billion company. And so let me give that to you in different terms. Right now, our company, we're exploding in growth. 2 families, over $1 million a year, approaching 100 families that are making $10,000 a month. We call them ambassadors. Well, we don't quite have 100. And if we were to do what I show you here on the screen with 1/100th of 1%, we would have 5,000 ambassadors. Again, we have less than 100. We'd have 1.6 million customers. Right now, we have under 50,000. We are at the beginning, not the end. But the reason I bring this up is it's good to know that, wow, if your concept catches on, if I only get a tiny little sliver of the market, is it realistic that the compensation plan you're showing me can actually come to fruition and do incredible things for me, my family, my kids, my grandkids, and it can become a true legacy? And understand that for every market leader, there's always an alternative. For every Coca-Cola, there's a Pepsi or a 7-Up. For every McDonald's, there's a Wendy's or Burger King. For every Microsoft, there was an Apple. For every iPhone, there was an Android. For every Domino's, there was a Pizza Hut, a Papa John's. And for every Booking.com and Expedia, because they're the same company, they have a monopoly, there's now an alternative called Travorium, where people can do the one thing they've always dreamed of doing their entire life at a price they never knew was possible. We have our 3 levels of membership, $52 a month, $75 a month, $135 a month. People can cancel anytime they wish. 95% of our sales are platinum. They're getting 2 vacations every 12 to 14 months. We're talking, unbelievable 4 and 5-star vacations. The Ritz-Carlton, the JW Marriott, the Grand Hyatt. No blackout dates, no contracts. You can book 24/7 anytime you want. No lack of places to go. And oh, by the way, if I tell 3 other people how they can legitimately save big time money on travel, I show 3 other people how they can legitimately save more money than they're spending, in effect, earn free travel. At that moment, I'm now earning more than I'm spending, meaning the membership's not even costing me anything. They take my membership straight out of my commissions. That's the beginning of how we spread this thing virally. Well, then you say, well, Todd, tell me about the money-making side of things. That's a $99 decision. You get your replicated website, your ID number, your back office, the tracking, the training, Travorium University, all those kind of things. Then you go meet with a tax professional, and you're going to find out you can write off your house, spouse, meals, travel, kids, entertainment, cell phones. The average tax savings is $400 to $500 a month. I mean, your own tax pro would say, look, it's not costing you $135 a month. It's making you $300 to $400 a month based on your tax situation. But guys, you can chat GPT that. You can Google that. You can buy best-selling books like you see here on the screen. That is 30 years. And in addition, the book I'm showing there right now, or go better yet, meet with a local tax professional. Do all 3. But when you understand what I just showed you, you would know that you know that you know this is not about spending money. It's about saving money, making money, living the life you've always dreamed about without tapping into the already stretched family budget, which now brings us to our 10X compensation program. And guys, because we have this unbelievable product, because we can get out and demonstrate that we are in fact 30, 40, 50, 70% less than Expedia. And that's the least exciting thing we do. It's the vacation programs that make it just light up. But because you can demonstrate that and people save money, and the number one thing shared on social media is travel. And it kicks in what I call the social sharing ripple effect. It's just like dropping a rock in the pond. You see the ripple spread, but every time you get somebody else, they drop a rock, and then they drop a rock, and then the ripples just start to go crazy, and you have this viral effect. In fact, this is how Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp got half the world's population on their platform, yet they've never, ever advertised. How do you get half the world's population to sign up when you've never advertised? And people think back and they're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I told my friends, who told their friends, who told their friends, and they got half the world's population. That made Mark Zuckerberg the second richest man in the world. Now, here's the fundamental philosophy upon which Mark built his company. People influence people. Nothing influences people more than the recommendation from a trusted friend. A trusted referral influences people more than the best broadcast message. A trusted referral is the holy grail of advertising. Now, that is the model that Mark used to become the second richest man in the world. He used the word of mouth model, friends telling friends. If it's okay for Mark to become the second richest man on the entire planet, using that model, is it okay if your family is able to pay their bills, showing people how to do the one thing they've always wanted to do, the thing they've dreamed of doing, travel, at a price they never knew was possible? And again, the number one thing shared on social media is travel. No one goes on vacation without doing a photo dump. So as it spreads from person to person, that creates this incredible customer base, that creates this incredible massive residual check. Who thinks that's a good idea? This guy. His name is Warren Buffett. Happens to be the fifth richest man in the entire world. Nobody knows more about money than Warren. And this is his quote. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. Now, why would he say something just, so abrasive, something so prophetic? Something so brazen? Because, guys, the rules have changed. The old model no longer works. The model that said, hey, go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a job, it's all going to be okay. It ain't going to be okay. It ain't going to be okay. And today, everybody knows that. This happens to be Richard Branson, the billionaire from the UK, owns Virgin Airlines, Virgin Galactic, putting people in space. He's telling people, guys, what I'm describing right now, this is the future. This is the direction it's going. You may not like it, right? But do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Because like it or not, this is the direction things are going. And people don't even realize what's happening out there in the economy. They don't realize that the average person is falling further and further behind. So if you think about it, in my lifetime, when I was a kid, I watched those shows, one person working, and they had this great, house, great cars, great vacations. No one was worried about paying the bills. Nobody was worried about getting laid off due to AI. You'd work for the same company your entire life. You'd get promoted along the way. Eventually you'd retire and you take this pension and sail off into the sunset. That is not the reality of today. And when you understand the stats and the things that are going on today, the ugly truth, the numbers don't lie, the old model is not working. I'm going to play for you a very short video that helps you understand what's happening in the financial markets.
Gen Z doesn't agree that $74,000 is middle class. No kidding, it's not even close. Check this out. If you take $74,000 for a Gen Z, or let's say they have a bachelor's degree and they're 25 years old. First of all, $74,000 is much higher than the average income. Most Gen Zers are probably making anywhere from 40 to 50, maybe 60, but let's use 74. The take home after taxes, 401k, and health insurance is $4,300. The average college monthly payment on a loan is about $500. You're down to $3,800. Let's say this person is financially responsible, decides to split a 2-bedroom apartment in a medium-sized city like Orlando, so that their payment is $1,200 a piece, $200 for utilities, so $1,400. Now, unless they're going to have Lucky Charms and peanut butter and jelly, their groceries are going to cost about $600 if they're trying to get chicken, beef, and some healthy stuff. You have a $400 car payment, $200 in insurance, $150 for gas, $100 for a cell phone, leaves you with $950. This is no savings, investment, no emergency fund. Let's give them at least $300 to go on a couple dates or hang out with their friends for the month so they can enjoy life a little bit. They're left with only $650. A bachelor's degree, $74K salary. You are splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with a friend and only have $650 left a month. It would take you years to save up the $30,000 that you would need for a down payment on a house with the closing costs. But even if you could get that down payment saved, you would still need to make $120,000 a year to be considered for a $400,000 loan. The middle class, the goalpost has been moved from $70K to $120,000 in just the past 2 years.
Guys, and that number's gone up since then. So you got the average household income here in this article, USA Today, it was 74 grand. Right now it's bumped up a little bit. We'll call it 80 grand. But to be middle class requires 120 grand. That is a $40,000 gap. So we've gone from one person working and they were middle class to today you got mom and dad working full time. They're driving Uber on the weekends and they're not even close to being middle class. This is the reality that people are facing. And then you think about retirement. Here's another great article. The average Social Security check is $1,830.66. We just showed you people can't even live on $6,000, $7,000 a month, let alone $1,800. That is a joke. You are broke. That is, I mean, it's an ongoing epidemic. So on the screen here, this is Pastor Guy Taylor, Pastor Deborah Taylor. They have an amazing story, but Pastor Guy, him and I, we share a birthday. He was born October 5th, same as me. He had some, serious health issues. I needed a kidney transplant, some other kind of things, but he got involved in our business, as did his wife, and went out, told 3 people, got his membership covered with the commissions, and basically going on 3 vacations a year now, right? 2 vacations a year for basically nothing. Well, he's out there traveling, having a great time. His friends and family are seeing that, like, man, what are you doing? You're going to all these amazing places. It's this travel thing I got involved in, right? So he goes out there and starts to tell some people about it, and it just spreads like wildfire. Well, he gets to the point that he's making $1,500 to $2,000 per month, and that's when, unfortunately, the good pastor he passed away. But all those people that were saving money, they continue to post on social media. They continue to brag about where they've been. They continue to brag about what they paid. And of course, obviously that caused other people to say, man, hold on. You went where for what price? So the customer base kept growing even after the good pastor passed away. Well, he left that business to his 2 granddaughters, Ava and Gracie. They're here on the screen. This is Ava. She was 4 years old when she inherited it. This is Gracie. She was 6 years old when she inherited it. Well, guys, since then, that business continued to grow. Within 31 months, Pastor Guy became a 1-star ambassador with a significant 6-figure income. Who thinks that's a good idea? The Bible. Proverbs 13:22, good people leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, not just to your children, but to your grandchildren. That's the kind of income that Warren Buffett's referring to. Unless you find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. And with us, guys, our entire compensation plan begins by getting 3 people. When you get 3 people, you can only build 2 legs. So you got 1 front line to you on the left, 1 front line to you on the right. Anyone else has to go build 1 of those 2. And you're just going to build 2 legs straight down. But when you get 3 people, you're now making $4.45 per day. That's $137 per month. The membership's only $135. So they're going to take your membership straight out of your commissions. But guys, if you understand the 2-legged system, 99% of the compensation programs out there that are the 2-legged system, and that's the most popular compensation program in our industry today, but they normally pay 10% on 1 leg. Well, in this case, you get 80 BV on one side, 160 BV on the other side, meaning in most companies, your check is $8 per month. With us, your check's $137 per month. I got the math there in green at the bottom. Now, let's assume that you're, 3 people. You go out there and get a 4th right, and then they go get a couple people each. That gives you 8 customers in your left leg and 8 customers in your right leg. Well, that means that you got 600 BV in the left leg, 600 BV in the right leg. You can see it there in the green at the very bottom. That's the actual BV. Again, 99% of the companies out there pay 10% on 1 leg. Well, 600 BV times 10%, your check is $60 per month. Every leader knows that. Nobody disputes that. That's what it is. With us, your check is not $60 per month. We have this accelerated payout at the beginning. Your check is a minimum of $300, cannot be less. And some are making $700, with the average being $550 per month. That's an extra $3,600 to $8,000 a year. Man, I just told 4 people how to save some big time money on travel. They told a couple people each, man, I got this extra $3,000 to $8,000 in my bank account. Well, from there, those 8 customers tell a couple people each. You got 25 customers on the left, 25 customers on the right. What that really means is I got 2,000 volume on the left, 2,000 volume on the right. That's down here in the green. Well, again, 99% of the companies out there pay 10% on 1 leg, 10% of 2,000. Your check is $200 a month. But that's not the case with us. With us, your check is a minimum, cannot be less, $750 per month. And for many people, you're $1,500 to $2,000 per month, with some even being $2,500 a month. You're talking an extra $9,000 to $30,000 a year. How did you get there? Man, I told, 5 people, and they told a couple of people each, and Shazam, I'm a 2-star director, and I get a championship ring, like you see there in the upper right-hand column. Well, from there, my 25 on the left, 25 on the right, they tell a couple people each. I've now got 63 customers in the left leg, and I got 63 customers in the right leg. That means I got 5,000 volume left, 5,000 volume right. In most companies, they pay you 10% on the volume. That means they would pay you $500 per month. With us, your check cannot be less than $2,100 a month. Impossible. Most people are in that $3,000 range, drifting toward the $4,000 range, right? I mean, guys, this is unbelievable. unbelievable compensation. Those 63 people tell one person each. You've now got 10,000 volume in the left leg, 10,000 volume in the right leg. Most companies pay you 10%. They're going to pay you $1,000 a month. It's down there in the green. With us, your check is anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 per month, an extra 48,000 to 60,000 a year. You have a team of 250 people, and you're making more money than the average American who wakes up every single day and has to, drive to work and suck it on the tailpipe of the car in front of you and the honking horns and, get there and you're not appreciated by your boss. And I mean, all that kind of stuff that people do every day just to make the kind of money you're making. And again, you've only got 125 in the left leg, 125 in the right leg, and you're already earning as much as the average American worker. From there, those 125 people each tell a half a person each, or you get half them to tell a whole person each. But your team becomes 188 on the left, 188 on the right. You are now earning $9,000 to $11,000 per month when you're qualifying for all of the different bonuses. I mean, guys, in most companies, when you see 188 left, 188 right, look down here at the bottom of the green. What that really means is you got 15,000 volume left, 15,000 volume right. And 99% of the companies, they pay you 10% on one leg. 10% of 15,000, your check is 1,500 a month, 18,000 a year. With us, your check is 9 to 11,000 a month, 108,000 to 132,000 per year. We have the most realistic way for the average person today to get to a significant six-figure reoccurring residual income. Now, understand this is for illustration purposes only. Results are going to vary. I don't know you. I don't know your mix of skills. But obviously, again, I'm just showing you from a historical perspective. The numbers have never been lower in order for you to achieve this type of income with a product where you can demonstrate that it is literally 30, 40, 50, 60% less, where you can show people they're saving more than they're spending. And my gosh, they're getting to go on an amazing vacation, 4- and 5-star vacation every 6 to 7 months. And the membership's not even costing me anything. Here's an example of what our ambassadors make on a regular basis. It's a hypothetical, but you can see a lot of them are over $10,000 per month. And by the way, when you become an ambassador, at this moment, you're going to pick up 2 more vacations because you're going to get sent on a world tour to train. You can take your team and the company, pays for your world tour. You get to go on that vacation. So that's your 3rd vacation. And then we have an ambassador vacation where all of us ambassadors go together. You now have 4 vacations a year. Of course, there's a good chance your spouse might be in the business, in which case your spouse has 2 vacations. Now you get 6 vacations a year. So again, unbelievable, benefits. Here's just a quick chart of the compensation program. Some of you might want to take a picture of that chart where it shows, personally, the sponsored people here. Platinum is 3, 1 star is 4, 2 stars 5, right? You got 3 stars, it's 7, 4 stars should actually be 9. There's a mistake there, and you got ambassador 10. So you got this chart here, of course, that shows kind of a average income over here on the monthly. Now that on the ambassador, it's 4,000 minimum. That's assuming that you didn't qualify for the bonuses. By the way, one of the bonuses is record a video and send it in. I mean, all you can do is record a video and send it in, you get a big bonus. I mean, it's possible somebody doesn't do that, but most people are in that 9,000 to 12,000 range. Although theoretically, you don't send it in, don't get the bonus, you could be 4,000, right? So again, that's kind of the disclaimer here on our compensation program. Now, from there, as your team continues to grow, so can your income. And when you're at 10 grand a month, understand that you are now a cash flow millionaire. Okay, if you wanted to retire on 10,000 per month and you wanted to do it the traditional way, that means you need to invest $2 million at a rate of 5% return. Here's the challenge. You got to make $4 million before taxes to have $2 million after taxes in order to invest. You invest the $2 million and that makes you the 10 grand a month. So how y'all doing on your $4 million, right? And this is where most people are like, okay, I'm falling short. Guys, we have a different way. We can show you how to go out and build a customer base that creates the same amount of cash flow as if you had $2 million in the bank. When you're an ambassador making 10 grand a month, it's the same thing as having $2 million in the bank at a 5% rate of return. Now, when you become an ambassador, we give you another brand new position completely for free. You don't have to build it, but you're going to want to build it, okay? So you could say, man, I'm just going to keep building my 2 legs. I'm good with that. But for some of you, you're going to say, wow, I got that brand new position over here. And remember that accelerated payout we have at the beginning, where it only takes 8 and 8 and 25 and 25 and 63 and 63 and 188 and 188 to get to another 10 grand a month. So a lot of you can say, hey, those two legs are rocking over here. My income keeps going up on my number one position, but I'm going to go redo it all over again on my number two position. And as you start to build, right, you can start earning money. And then eventually that becomes a ambassador where I'm making now, 9 to 12,000 per month on my number two position. And my number one position is still minimum 9 to 12 grand a month, or it could be much, much higher. Okay. Because that volume through my number two position is flowing up to my number one position to qualify me for some higher bonuses. Well, once you get to 10 grand a month over here in your number two position, you get another brand new position where you can go do it all over again. And you go out there and you begin to build. Next thing you know, you become an ambassador in this position. Well, again, that volume flows from number three to number two to number one, helping the top position qualify for even bigger bonuses. But every time you get to 10,000 per month, you get another brand new position. And each one of these positions can make up to $96,000 per month in our compensation structure. So guys, if you only had 5,000 people in your first leg, 5,000 in your second leg, and 5,000 between all those positions, from number 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 and on and on and on, all that up to 5,000. That means that on the top position alone, you are $744,000 a year, plus all the money you're making on 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because those positions could be 20 grand a month, 40 grand a month, 10 grand a month. I mean, who knows? But that's just the top position alone. If you get to 10,000 people in your first leg, second leg, and third leg, you're now 86,000 a month. That's $1 million a year, and that does not include all of the income from position number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you then get to 15,000 per month in leg 1, 2, and 3, at this moment you're now 110,000 per month. By the way, that's the 3,200 a day, 96,000 a month in daily pay. Then I'm calculating some of all the other kind of bonuses that are kicking in. This is probably an underestimate, by the way, but you're now in that 1,320,000 a year category, and that does not include the income from number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because each of these positions are now making huge, hundreds of thousands, multiple six-figure on those particular positions. Guys, if you do that with a comparison to cardiologists, this is an article in USA Today. What is the top income in the United States? And they said, back in 2022, just a few years ago, that's not changed, by the way, it's cardiologists. They're making $421,000 a year. That is the average, $421,000 a year. We have all kinds of people here at our company making more money than cardiologists. And they had to go to school, by the way, 4 years college, 4 years medical, 3 years residency, 3 years cardiology. Some of them go back for even more specialized. It's going to cost them, $300,000 to $500,000 minimum. They have malpractice insurance that's cost them $50,000 to $100,000 a year. So even out of that $400,000 a year, they got to pay malpractice insurance. Guys, there's just no comparison when you look at what it takes to make that kind of money compared to what we're doing, showing people how to do the one thing they've always wanted to do. We've got those yearly ambassador vacations. You get the Louis Vuitton experience when you become an ambassador. This has been a smash hit where you get to go to Louis Vuitton and you get to go shopping on the company credit card. And guys, we also have the James Bond watch. When you become a 3-star ambassador, same watch James Bond wears, that's a $9,000 watch. We got the men's version, we got the ladies' version, and the only thing we're missing is you. A better life requires a better way. There is not a compensation program in the industry today, not even close, that has what we have, and there's nobody that has the product. When you combine the product that we have with the compensation program we have, when you look at the size of the market and the fact that we only need a tiny little sliver for all those numbers to become a reality for you and your family, there's nothing better out there. And thanks for being with us.